Hey you! Welcome to the Gamer Jooce channel. You saw the thumbnail, you read the title, you know what this video is about, so let's get right on into it. Number 10, Dishonored 2. We're starting off with a bang, and it's the magnificent Dishonored 2. Created by Arcane Studios, Dishonored takes everything that made the original a fantastic game and improves and adds to it. The game takes place 15 years after the events of the Dishonored game. Empress Emily Caldwin has been dethroned by the otherworldly Delilah. Now you must choose whether to play with Emily or with her father, Corvo Atano, as they both attempt to rightfully return what belongs to Emily. Either way, they've both been influenced by the Void and have badass powers like stopping time or becoming a living shadow. Dishonored 2 has non-linear gameplay, so there's no particular order to complete your missions. You can lose yourself inside the beautiful Karnaca city and play with your own style, whether it's stealthy or you want to be as chaotic as possible. The punishing chaos system from the first game has improved greatly. Instead of the kingdom being thrown into disarray after every single mistake you make, Dishonored 2 measures your actions fairly, so massacring innocent civilians won't have the same chaotic consequence as slaying villains. Number 9, Red Dead Redemption 2. In league with the all-great Grand Theft Auto 5 is Red Dead Redemption 2. It's set in Rockstar Games' most legendary and masterfully crafted open world. Technically a prequel to 2010's Red Dead Redemption, it takes place in the punishing West and tells the story of Arthur Morgan and his gang, Van der Linde, who are on the run after a disastrous heist. The main 60-hour storyline is an adrenaline-inducing mix of high-speed shootouts, high-stakes heists, and thrilling rescue and chases. The other activities include fun stuff like playing poker, fishing, wandering the overwhelmingly large open world. Red Dead Redemption 2 is considered to be one of the best games of all time, not just PC, and has won numerous awards and sold over 32 million copies. There are too many things that make it amazing: the story, the graphics, the open world, the interactivity, and so much more. Number 8, The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 can only be usurped from its throne as one of the greatest games of all time by another amazing Witcher game, because no one but Andrzej Sapkowski can top this masterpiece. From a third-person perspective, you control Geralt, who's going on an unrivaled massacre in a multi-continent search for his lover Yennefer and his missing adopted daughter Ciri, who's on the run from the Wild Hunt. Where to start on what makes this the best? Let's begin with the brutal and intuitive real-time combat. At one point, you'll be so drunk on how satisfying and empowering controlling Geralt is that you'll be looking to pick fights with bandits. The Witcher 3's gripping plot throws you into exhilarating hunts and missions, from hunting down savage beasts to assassination plots to love triangles. The open world is otherworldly and full of details. It doesn't just feel like you're playing a game that has predestined ending no matter what you do. Here, every little choice and mistake that compromise your morality will affect the progression and lead you to one of the numerous endings. Number 7, Divinity Original Sin 2. Studios can release new games with all the quirky gimmicks they feel like, but Divinity Original Sin 2 is an irreplaceable legacy. If you're a fan of RPGs and tactical and strategic gameplay, you won't need any other game. Not only is it one of the most complex games, but it's also achingly beautiful. So, like the original Divinity, players can either play alone or with up to 3 of their friends in their party. Set centuries after the first game, Divinity Original Sin 2 throws you to the wolves right from the start. Well, you customize your character first. You can be human, a red-tatted lizard, a carnivorous elf, or whatever you want. No matter what, you'll find yourself kidnapped by the Divine Order and go on your way to the island prison, Fort Joy. However, you manage to get away with the mysterious voice's help. From there on out, your formidable journey begins. Go wild in the fantasy world known as Rivellon. Tinker with the game's top-notch interactivity and try to remember your mission. There's honestly so much to do that it will take more than one playthrough to fully experience the immersive world of Divinity. Number 6, Titanfall 2. Respawn Entertainment, who made Titanfall 2, are the elite of the elite, responsible for the iconic Call of Duty series. The first Titanfall was great, but we would have never expected how massively successful the sequel would be. The intense Titanfall 2 has you controlling Jack Cooper, an everyday man who, after his mentor is killed, sets out on a journey with a robot to stop an evil corporation from laying waste to the militia planet Harmony. Now, Jack is as average as pilots come. Even with his agility and smart one-liners, the real powertrain is the Titans. who are symbiotically attached to each pilot. Titans are mecha-style killing machines who bring in powerful abilities like teleportation, shields, and weaponry. Despite having linear gameplay, Titanfall 2 gives you enough freedom to not feel obligated by the grand mission and lets you explore the world throughout the 9 chapters of the game. The game is full of wicked and satisfying combat, events that happen at breakneck speed, and if you are playing online, lots of mods to lose yourself for hours in the game. Number 5. Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. Take revenge, restore your honor, kill ingeniously. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice comes from Software, the same studio that made notoriously awesome but difficult games like Bloodborne and the Dark Souls series, which is coming up on the list, so keep on watching. In Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, you're a disgraced warrior trying to right a wrong. Your duty is to guard the young lord Kuro, who's the divine heir whose blood is capable of reviving anyone who consumes it or is blessed by it. His power attracts the most nefarious of attention, but Kuro is kidnapped. On a quest to protect Kuro and regain your honor, you embark on a legendary journey. Set in brutal 1500s Sengoku, Japan, Sekiro is one of the most visually breathtaking games. Notoriously difficult, there is no map or compass, just vague directions. If you enjoy gripping samurai battles on rooftops, this is the game for you. The gameplay mostly focuses on stealth, brutal combat, exploration, and boss fights as you've never seen done. Number 4. Disco Elysium. Something like Disco Elysium is incredibly rare, and therefore it rightfully earned its spot as one of the best PC games of all time. How could you not like this game? It's chaotic, violent, beautifully designed, and very intelligent. The first thing that sets it out is the watercolor style. Because it's written by Robert Kurvitz, you can expect clever dialogue, difficult mysteries, sharp humor, and contained disaster. You control an amnesiac detective who's battling the hangover of his life while trying to solve murders. Hangover aside, you get to decide the traits and skills you want to have as a detective. Do you want to be sensitive so you can draw answers out of people? Or would you rather intimidate them with your bruiser style? Or do you just want to cleverly pick up on things no one else could? In the end, you have full control and freedom in the city of Revachol. Number 3. Outer Wilds. Survival isn't always violent, and Outer Wilds is the proof of that. It's 2020's Game of the Year and one of the most beautiful creations ever made. The music is phenomenal. The landscape is more like an unforgettable painting, and the plot and ending deserve all the recognition and love and awards in the world. In Outer Wilds, every 22 minutes, the sun explodes in a supernova and annihilates all creation, and you start all over again. But it's not as frustrating as you'd think. The game is so well written that you eagerly dive back in for more. You control an Outer Wilds Venture space program crew who's seeking ancient knowledge by exploring the planet's ruins. A highly intelligent alien species seems to be behind all the mysteries, and it's up to you to explore both the peaceful and hostile planets, interact with other explorers, and keep your oxygen levels up against the race of time. Number 2. Dark Souls. Dark Souls 2 is another masterpiece by From Software. It's 60 hours of grueling tension that you won't notice the world around you until the end credit roll, and you'll want to play it again. Dark Souls 2 manages the rare feat of making you hurt, but is also so addictive that it raises a challenge that keeps you coming back for more. You control an undead human in the kingdom of Drangleic, a creature who's cursed to never die and is dreading turning into a zombie-ish being. You get offered a deal to break your curse if you manage to gather 4 great souls, and this is where the agonizing fun begins. Dark Souls 2 is infamous for their difficulty. Bosses can smite you with little effort on their parts, you get punished for having bad skills, and the game teases your fears and puts you constantly on guard. You can play solo or in PvP or PvE, or just a co-op gameplay. Finally, we have number 1, Grand Theft Auto 5. Hands down, Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the best games of all time, if not the best. If you want to measure a game's success, you'll look at 2 things, playability and public perception. How did GTA 5 fare? See for yourself. Despite being released years ago, it's one of the best-selling games of all time, only beaten by Goliaths like Minecraft and Tetris. It earned an impossible $3 billion profit in its first 3 days on the market. Rockstar listened to their fans and came through. Set in the nostalgic city of open world San Andreas, there are 3 playable protagonists: the retired bank robber with anger issues Michael De Santa, the adrenaline junkie gangster Franklin Clinton, and the violent drug dealer and arms smuggler Trevor Phillips. There are fan favorites, of course, but each one is so incredibly well written you'll have to form your own opinion. Grand Theft Auto 5 is still as violent as ever. Missions and crimes include anything from hijacking planes to action-packed shootouts with the police to anything your imagination could come up with. It's Grand Theft Auto. You can do anything. Rockstar Games constantly provides new free updates, so GTA 5's playability could last forever. Alrighty gamers, we hope you enjoyed the list because that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you did in fact watch the video all the way through, we appreciate you so much and hope you enjoyed it enough to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell because we are always releasing new content. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.